Welcome to Secure the Soil, your podcast for California's food system, for those who want to make a greener, healthier world, who want to eradicate food deserts, who want to feed their hood, who want to feed their communities, who want to rebuild our own food system. And I'm here with the one and only TK, great man, a leader, someone who's a part of the heritage of all of this work, who comes from really coming from a bigger vision of it and really seeing that scale and really implementing that scale. And I think it's important that especially us who come from, LA and come from the hood, see what's available, what's possible, and see, what's really going on in our state of California. A lot of people don't know about all the things you are doing and about, the legacy and the lineage and history that you come from. So I felt it was very important to tap in with you, and I appreciate you being here, man. So introduce yourself to the people.
Well, first off, I appreciate being here. I'm so proud of what you're doing, and
Thank
this
you.
is an amazing thing. It's something that must be done to bring awareness to this work. So shouts to you.
Thank you, man.
My name is Tekoah Kadara.
Uh-huh.
I'm the Associate Executive Director of the Allensworth Progressive Association, which is the governing body of the community of Allensworth.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, should I go into detail on Allensworth?
Please go in detail about
Okay.
Allensworth. Let's assume that nobody has heard anything about Allensworth, that there are viewers from Compton, from the hood, from all over California, from the world,
Got it.
who have never heard about,
Got it.
All
right.
The visionary work that's being done.
Okay. All right. So in a nutshell, Allensworth is the first all-black township in California, founded in 1908. Colonel Allensworth was an escaped slave who joined the Union Army, rose to the highest ranks as a black man in the United States military of the time. When he left the military, he left the military as a chaplain, so as a lieutenant colonel and a chaplain. He traveled across the country establishing educational facilities. This most recent one prior to Allensworth was in Angel Island. And then he brought innovators, educators, woodworkers, steel workers, inventors, military folks down to Allensworth to establish Allensworth with the envision of establishing Allensworth as Tuskegee University West Coast.
Where is Allensworth?
Allensworth is up the 99 freeway in South Central Valley of California, north of Bakersfield, south of Fresno, like right there in between. Right there, most people have no idea of those small towns in between, so I usually go with Bakersfield and Fresno. Allensworth is
that's how I describe it too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, Allensworth is a very historical place. It's also sits on the shoreline of the Tulare Lake, or what the indigenous call Pa'ashi. And a lot of the reasons that you don't hear about Allensworth is because you would have to hear about this, the largest lake west of the Mississippi that is no longer there in less than 150 years. You would have to hear about the largest indigenous tribes, or California had the largest indigenous population, and the largest indigenous tribe in California was murdered down to 4 families. So in order to tell the Allensworth story, you'd have to tell a much darker story, which is why most people in Colonel Allensworth skips our history books. So in a nutshell.
Yeah, let me sit with that one for a little bit, man. But it is necessary because this is a part of our state, man. It's a part of our history. It's a part of our lineage and our culture. And me as someone who identifies as a Moor, it is very nuanced for me. The African American story and the Indigenous American story. I have this connection with both. My grandma was Choctaw on both sides. Both my grandparents were Choctaw.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like many of us have this very nuanced relationship with our indigenousness, and our African Americanness, or what's color, black. How we keep getting reclassified. So that story, I can understand. Like you said, I can understand why they don't want to tell that story, because it hurts. It hurts on both sides. The story of Allensworth hurts. It hurts on so many layers.
So many layers. Especially understanding the Buffalo Soldiers were part of that.
I didn't know that.
The Buffalo Soldiers were part of that. So when I'm talking to my brothers and sisters on the indigenous side, we didn't know who was going to kill us. We didn't know who was coming for us. We didn't know who was hunting us. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't know who? And then I find myself at Yosemite one day, and a park ranger at Yosemite says, oh, you guys got really, Colonel Allensworth used to be here and patrol Yosemite and Sequoia with the Buffalo Soldiers, and we used to make sure that the indigenous people didn't come home. So the Buffalo Soldiers were part of the reason that a lot of the indigenous people were killed off or weren't allowed to come back home to their home in the hillsides.
Wow.
So tying it all together is it's a lot deeper than you would just think.
Man, I know we just started, right? We've been here 2 minutes and we just jumped off up in it. But this is a part of securing the soil.
Yes.
It's a part of, like I said, I'm starting with the Land Task Force recommendations, the California Agricultural Land Task Force recommendations to the governor. And, a part of these recommendations is conversations, nuances, layers, history of California. Before we can try to do things and implement new things, we do need to deal with, the trauma and all that was done to get us to this point. So it's necessary
Absolutely
to jump in the deep end. We didn't just wake up one day and not have our own food system. We didn't just wake up one day and be forced to be in inner cities, So, man, that was heavy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, continue, man. Continue with the history of Allensworth. I know it's still more history to go. Give us some more. Continue giving us the breakdown.
I can catch you up to where we are.
Is that all of the hit? Like you done with telling us the story of Allensworth?
Okay, so I can say Allensworth rivaled the same time period as the Greensboro district in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was around the same time. Allensworth was also systematically taken down, but in a different way, right? Allensworth was a military town. When I was a kid going fishing with my grandmother and catching some of the OGs fishing off the bank, maybe they were kids when Allensworth was thriving and things like that. You couldn't cross the railroad tracks to come into Allensworth. Allensworth was a fortress. If you were on the other side, you could not cross the railroad tracks because Allensworth used to have a bar. You couldn't cross the train tracks to come and drink at the bar. You'd be escorted out of town, non-violently, but you'd be escorted out of town, and people knew as they drove past, they couldn't come in. So part of the way Allensworth was taken down is because the powers that be wasn't willing to fight them. So they reneged on water rights, right? So you bought this property, you're supposed to have this much allocation of water, and no, y'all niggas, no. No. Also with that, Colonel Allensworth decided that, we need to make this work. We need to make this community work. Allensworth happened to be his vacation home. He lived in Monrovia. And he was leaving a water district meeting, fighting for water rights in Allensworth, where he was struck with a motorcycle at 70 years old and killed. So that begins the phrase, the town that refused to die, because Allensworth still worked on thriving, Shortly after that, Allensworth, like I said, it didn't take a major hit immediately because they still had their economy and they were still working out water situations. But when they moved the train spur from Allensworth to 3 miles down the road to Alpaw, and Allensworth, like I said, survived on industry. They had woodworkers, steel workers, inventors, creators. And a lot of people think Allensworth was an agricultural town. It was agricultural for its residents, to feed its population. But food doesn't last in a train in the summer to Los Angeles without refrigeration. And we didn't have refrigeration like we have refrigeration in 1908. So the food and the produce was community. It's for the community. Their industry came from building things, innovating, creating wood and steel. Is where a lot of that innovation came from and where a lot of that industry and economy came from that Allensworth thrived off of. So
I'm learning new stuff too, man.
Yeah. So that was a huge part of it. But, you know, Colonel Allensworth working with George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, he had the ideas of agriculture already inside, you know. So when he got here, he captured portion of the White River, which ran into Allensworth in 2023 and flooded us. He captured a portion of that and created um, uh, irrigation canals behind Allensworth. So in the summer, when I was a kid going to visit my grandmother, those canals and that waterway were still open.
So your grandparents, because, you know, I know we and you know each other. So we gonna go, but for the audience who don't know, you know, so
I'm sorry, I just be
I know,
rambling.
no, we gonna shop. I'm with you. So I'm learning how to slow it down a little bit. So your grandparents are like from Allensworth, like you're from Allensworth, right? Yeah.
So my grandmother moved to Allensworth in 1979. Okay, so my mom, my uncles, aunts, they're LA babies. You know, went to Crenshaw High and all of that. Okay, so
so a little context, I met your uncle Dennis.
Yes.
We were both a part of the BIPOC advisory committee to
Yes.
the equity office of the California Department of Food and Agriculture.
Yes.
And he was representing Allensworth on his farm, 6-acre farm. Much respect to Dennis Hudson. I always have respect for him. So he would come in there and just, you know, give game about Allensworth and give game about what's going on. And then he, you know, us, especially us Black farmers all over California at this advisory committee, we started, you know, offline chopping up, talking and working together and just building bridges and figuring out, you know, how we can create some kind of cohesiveness as well.
Yeah.
So Dennis started to become like a mentor for me as well. And he would encourage me to just, you know, get involved and encourage me to stay tapped in. So he invited me to assist with the beginning farmer training program. And this is when I was navigating, working with different companies, and ultimately decided to create Osiris Bridge to formally be able to be a partner with Allensworth Progressive Association, and let people in LA know. So that's when I met TK, Tekoah. And, you know, I started going to Allensworth and visiting Allensworth and meeting everybody. And I haven't been in a minute. I just got back to California a couple months ago, but I definitely was planning on going there today, but we decided to let's do it here in LA. But I definitely am going to pull up to Allensworth real soon. So I just want to say, you know, that's how I got introduced to Allensworth, was through Dennis. And that's how I got introduced to Tekoah. And just the real history. I didn't know about Allensworth either. I'm from LA. I'm from Compton. Never heard about Allensworth until I was on this advisory committee. You know? So I understand most people in LA and California, if you're not involved in agriculture, if you're not really involved in really studying history of black people in California, which most of us just aren't. We're just living our day-to-day lives. We know a lot about, you know, Malcolm X and, you know, Fred Hampton and all that, but most of us have never been taught. There is no formal education of Allensworth. And so that's how I got, you know, that's how I got learned about Allensworth. Just to give a little context of how me and him are sitting here together. I've known him for the past going on 4 or 5 years now. And just always seeing him in passing and seeing him develop and seeing him grow and seeing him now in a position of leadership. And it's been great to see, you know. So that's my little spiel real quick, just to get some context. But continue.
Connect the dots.
Yeah, continue. That's because this is the work of Osiris Bridge from my vantage point, is to connect us in LA with what's going on in Central Valley and what's going on in Sacramento, but also that, you know, two-way street. Let people in LA know about what's going on in Allensworth and Sacramento. It's not just, you know, hey, let you know, it's to me, you guys deserve for everybody in LA to know what's going on. Just as much as we in LA deserve to know what's going on with y'all as well, you know.
I feel like the South in the 90s. We got a story to tell. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Andre.
Yeah. I'm with you. We do.
Yeah.
To me,
absolutely.
it is our story.
Absolutely.
It's the story of us as a people.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And the Central Valley is the heartbeat of California. So if you neglect the heart in anything,
come on,
you're asking for the consequence that we don't want. And California has been messing with the heart of California for a long time. The state has been messing with the heart of California for a long time. Um, but my grandmother came to Allensworth in 1979.
Uh-huh.
A man named Ed Cornelius Pope got together with the NAACP and a number of different agencies because Allensworth was scheduled to be bulldozed
Hmm.
and
Damn.
just wiped out. So currently, the state park has Colonel Allensworth's home. It has the first library in Tulare County. It has the original elementary school. It still has the original church. It has the barber shop and many of the stores that were in the community of Allensworth.
Uh-huh.
And in 1976, they took these buildings from around Allensworth and put them in a location, cornered it off, and deemed it the state park. And this was a beautiful thing because now we have these preserved buildings.
Uh-huh.
A lot of these buildings have been refurbished and are not currently 100% the building. There are a lot of them are remakes,
Mm-hmm.
but we have a living museum
Mm-hmm.
to show what this could have looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the issue is when you establish this kind of thing with the state, now the thing that you asked for, you're now separate from.
Which is?
We wanted to preserve this state park. We wanted to preserve these buildings. We wanted to preserve this historic legacy of this community that most people don't know.
Uh-huh.
But when you get the state involved, the
Mm-hmm.
state now has ownership of the park and can do whatever they want with the park.
Man.
And the community that asked for this park is now separate from the
Uh-huh.
park.
They're like, this is ours. This belongs to the state of
This
California.
is state. This is no longer yours. I know you asked for it, but if we want to throw an event here and we want to do this here, if we want to, you can do what you want. We're separate. So when my grandmother moved to Allensworth in 79, I call her the preserver
Uh-huh.
because one of the first things she did is she created the group called the Friends of Allensworth.
Uh-huh.
And that group was the organization that acts in between the state park system and the living community of Allensworth, as the community engagement for events and things like that. So right now, my grandmother, she had a number of events that used to happen year round in the state park, but till this day, there's still a Black History event in February. There's a May Gospel or Jazz Festival in May. There's the Juneteenth Festival in June, and then we have the rededication, celebrating the town being preserved into a state park, and that's in October. So those events still happen to this day. My grandmother fought off a sludge treatment facility that they wanted to bring inside of Allensworth, a turkey farm that they wanted to bring inside of Allensworth. I mean, you would have never come to Allensworth had there been a turkey farm on the backside of the community, because if you've ever driven past a turkey farm, you can smell it miles and miles away. And then her last big fight was going up against a mega dairy that wanted to put 20,000 cows on both sides of the community of Allensworth. Now, again, I wouldn't feel comfortable inviting you to Allensworth with 20,000 cows and the flies that come with cows and the smell and all those different things. So she went to Governor Schwarzenegger of the time and fought to have no more than 5 cows within 3 miles of Allensworth State Historic Park. So that pretty much made it to where we had an opportunity to figure something out, because they were trying to take us out from inception, right? So she gave us room to figure things out. And again, I call her the preserver. And my grandmother's as my grandmother's getting a little older, my uncle comes into town with a vision, and
Uncle Dennis.
Dennis Hudson. And we've had, family meetings, and like, I want to buy this land and I want to do something in Allensworth, and, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Let me know when you buy it. So as a young person, I was really excited about it, and I had a little bit of money and I wanted to invest and try to help out, but they kind of looked at us as the kids back then.
Yeah.
So they acquired the land, and keep in mind, my Uncle Dennis is also a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force and also a chaplain.
Exactly.
So 100 years later, he purchases 60 acres in Allensworth as a lieutenant colonel and a chaplain with a vision for organic food.
Dennis always got a word. He always got a word. He gonna always preach to you.
Even when he tells you he's not going to, he's going to preach to you. Even when he tells you it's going to be 2 minutes, he's going to make it 6, but it's going to be impactful.
Even when you just give him a call and check him on, he gonna give you a message.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a call, check him out. I'm gonna get him on the show too for sure. Gonna pull up.
Yeah. He's another good one to have.
Uh-huh.
But it was his vision that sparked all of this 100 years later. And at the time, I'm going through things in my life. COVID had just hit. You know, I'm a businessman. I lost 3 businesses during COVID, and I'm trying to figure out my life. And I just happened to move back to Allensworth with my 2 children. And I'm working with Dennis on his farm, you know, because I've never done anything in agriculture. I just need to clear my mind. You know, my life is upside down. And I'm listening to a podcast from a woman named Elaine Ingham. And in listening to this podcast, she's saying, we can reverse global warming if we can get industrial agriculture all on the same page at the same time. So my brain, that turned a switch. I go from a guy that I play basketball, you know, I'm a businessman. I don't like getting my hands dirty. I'm a street guy. I'm not a country guy. Now I can do country, but I prefer to be over here. The switch hit and it reversed for me. Like now I want to put my hands in the soil. Now I want to figure this out.
Now talking to you, you like a scientist with this, bro. Like
Yeah.
you know all the ins and outs.
I jumped down the rabbit hole. I went full speed, head first down the rabbit hole. And
anybody talking to you now will not know that you didn't care about this 6 years
ago. Yeah, 6, 7 years ago.
The way you talk about it is like you in it, man.
I've locked into it, bro, and I've actually done it. Like I've actually grown my own garden in the past 6 years, and I've used this 3 sisters method, and I've seen, wow, my watermelons, wow, I grew black beans, lima beans, pinto beans, red beans, and I put them next to my corn, and my corn my stalks were, this is my first garden ever.
Hey, man, it all cohesive.
And I realized my beans were feeding my corn. My corn was giving the beans a stalk to climb up. My melons were covering the ground to protect. So it's like these plants are all working together to grow me food.
These indigenous people had a little something going on. They had something.
They knew this all the while. They knew this all the while. So for me, when I figured this out, I jumped down further. But to take it back just a little bit, my mother, and my uncle, I call the preservers, not the preservers, the capacity builders. Because my mother's education was in urban planning and city planning. My father's background was in urban planning and engineering. Uncle's background was in business, and he was a minister, a chaplain. He's the story.
He know how to communicate and gather the people and organize the people.
So that's where this all started.
And we could see it. We can see the fruit of it. We can see the fruit of it.
So me going from working in this field, you know, I'm not caring about the money I'm making. I still have a little something. I'm just, going through stuff. I'm using this to clear my brain. And it goes from this to, hey, T, you do business consulting. Yeah, that's what I do. We need you to write us a business plan. Bet, say less. How much you gonna pay me? Okay, say less. Okay, I need a job right now. Then I bring in my business partner. And then a month after that, hey, slow down on this business plan because we just found out that the Legislative Black Caucus wants to give us some funding. And in this time, my mom had been working on a community plan with a couple of other teammates. And when the Legislative Black Caucus came to us, it's like, oh, we're ready. We have our community plan. We have what we're looking for. At the time, we wanted a resiliency center, like a new community center. We wanted land money to work on the 60 acres. We wanted to do a project in the state park. Our Center for Understanding is what we called it. And it was a museum / amphitheater to tell the story of the lake, to tell the story of the indigenous, to tell the story of the Black settlers, and to tell the story of the farm workers movement. To tell all the stories of the land and how impactful it was. So that's what we asked for $55 million for, to work on those projects. And in May of 22, we got the announcement that we won the grant. We were going to get the grant, and it was 40 million out of 55 that we asked for. I'm like, wow.
I remember Dennis hit me like, yo, like, you feel me? Like,
it's here.
It's like, but like, Jay, chill out.
Yep.
Don't go crazy, but like, we doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you can help, you can help. You know what I'm saying? But just know, like, we're gonna be like, I told you, like, we're gonna, you know, we doing this thing. We're gonna build this town. We're gonna rebuild our town. We're gonna do it. You know, and however you can help, I want you to help. I want to put you here to help, whatever capacity. I like what you got going. I like how you think. I like what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that I bring you in to some degree. And I'm like, you know, cool. Like, I understand, like, whatever capacity y'all allow me to help, I will help.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't, you know, I don't want to help.
I don't want to force myself.
Because I had visions of like, man, I want to do this. I want to tell a story. I want to make a movie. You know me, I'm LA. I want to make a movie about everything. I want to make a documentary about everything. It's like, nah, slow down, Tamu. Like, we don't need all that right now.
Yeah.
Do some webinars, get some names, you know, get structure too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're not going to just, okay, here. Like, no. You come with some real concrete things you can actually really concrete bring us, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
So that was a very pivotal point in my life as well, because that went from All Serious Bridge being this thing that I know I need to do to saying no. Like, they're giving you all were the first to give me an actual chance. You know what I'm saying? To actually say, hey, we believe in you and we see what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Now, can you make this real?
Yes.
Can you actually be something formal and professional and actually do the things you say you want to do?
Yes.
So Allensworth will always have a special place in my heart as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not only like rebuilding something outside over there. For me, it's like, no, I'm actually, I'm a part of the rebuilding, and it's a part of rebuilding me as a man.
Absolutely.
And as a Black man.
Absolutely.
Having a sense of purpose.
Absolutely.
Having a sense of, hey, I do want to help. I do want to contribute. And I do need to take the fact that you all are willing to say, okay, Tamu, you can contribute. I need to take that serious. I need to take that I have to formalize that and protect that and not be so, you know, oh yeah, we can, no, this is something that is, they're trusting me to do, that they are, you know, compensating me for doing.
Yeah.
And I do have to execute, and I do have to conduct myself in a manner where, to a degree, now I'm a representative.
Yes.
Of this history, of this legacy, of this town, and all this in this family as well. You know? So I do want to, you know, like mention that it was very, very pivotal in my journey, in my life.
I love it.
Working with Allensworth.
I love it. And I didn't know that story, so that's really dope.
Yeah, like I had created All Serious Bridge as a social media page to tell the story.
Got it.
But then when everything was happening with Crop Swap, and Dennis was like, okay, I want to engage with Tamu, but okay, well, all right, like, if that's what you're doing, cool. Like, you're going to be over there, cool. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to, you know,
go through the necessary channels to get with you.
But then it started being like, okay, I'm not in control of my own destiny anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I had to rethink some things, and I had to just recalibrate and shift my energy.
Yeah.
But then when I did step away, and then I stepped away to formally create. That was one of the biggest reasons that I had to step away and formally create All Serious Bridge. Was because I'm like, I want to be a part of what's going on in Allensworth to whatever capacity. Even if it's just helping out a little bit. I want to be a part of it. I don't want to be, well, I didn't have time, or my boss said I couldn't do it, or I didn't want to, you know, it's like, no, there's no excuses. This is what you want to do. Dennis has empowered you and brought you in, and none of these people know who you are. Y'all had no idea who I am. You know? And then it's like, no, this is Tamu. He's on the BIPOC advisory committee with me. I want to work with him. I want him to be a part of this, to help outreach and help spread the word, help let people know. And I had to be like, all right, it's time to, you know, put your big boy pants on.
Yeah, and then all I had to do was meet you and realize you were solid, and it's like, okay, let's make this happen. Let's move it forward. We on the same wavelength.
I will always appreciate, you know, Allensworth, but continue, man. Continue.
So, My uncle, my mom were the group that made sure that people like myself were brought into the team. You know, I came on as a consultant because I was doing other things. I came on as a consultant and we got that funding from the state. The state park system ended up hijacking all of the funds, earmarking all of the funds.
I remember that.
We had to pay a lobbyist to go back to Governor Newsom. Thank God for the office of Kat Taylor, a woman that my grandmother knew that's good friends with my mom, and that is an ally of the Allensworth Progressive Association. She sent a lobbyist to go back to Governor Newsom and say, hey, like they wrote this, it's in their language. State parks found a way to figure this out. So we ended up getting 12 million out of the 40. But going from having no money to having $12 million, okay, let's shut up. Let's stop talking.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, we can deal with that later. But right now we got 12 million that we can work with, and that's substantial.
It's a seed money.
We can plan.
Yeah.
We can come up with the best plan in the world with $12 million. So
fundraise from there.
So this is where,
which is what Colonel Alensworth was doing.
Which is what he was doing already. So what we're focused on at this time is now, okay, now we have this funding. Now we have to build this team. So then now I'm brought on as the executive director of the Community Development Corporation. My business partner gets brought on. Jose Armando, who
shout to Jam.
Yeah, shout out to Jam. That's my dog right there. He joins the team, and I'm the high level kind of vision, and Jam gets the details and dots all the T's and the J's, or crosses all the T's and the J's and dots the I's.
He would grill me. Which I know I need. Because I'm not a detail. I'm like you. I'm not a detail. I'm vision. I'm big vision. And then to a degree delegate details. Bring people who do details. I learn I'm not good at details. I'm getting better, but I thrive at bigger vision, communicating a bigger vision, seeing the bigger vision through, doing everything I can to make sure the details get done and then to get to the vision. But I'm not the detailer person.
That's why me and Jam work so well together. Like every trip that I've made in the past, I'll say 90% of the trips I've made in the past 2 years, I've gone with him. Because I can bring somebody to understand what Allensworth is and the vision that and then he comes in and just like, dot. Wow.
Yeah. So you can like conceptualize it. And it's like, oh, this is real. It's not just a lofty idea and a vision.
It's not just this tall, skinny black dude that's got another dream like everybody else that's trying to sell you a dream. No, we actually have it on paper. We've actually talked about it. It's documented and it's duplicatable.
Man.
So that's what our focus has been. And, you know, like I said, I call my mom and my Uncle Dennis the capacity builders because they have helped us build an enterprise plan that is unlike any other in the world.
Man, I got some questions. Okay. We could chop. And I appreciate you laying that strong, very, very strong foundation. Now I just got some questions, man, because you know, hold on, let me see, because a lot of it we done talked about already. We done jumped into it. You know what I'm saying? I do got a question. Right. So, you know, we know, as we said, it's Colonel Allensworth and everybody involved. They built something that was taken apart, right? Water, railroad, infrastructure, right? Deliberately diverted away. And when you actually look at what he was trying to build, what do you think he understood about land that most people still don't get today?
I think people are starting to wake up. But what he understood
100 years ago.
100 years ago, he understood community and solidarity. He understood solidarity and that we have to work together to be a sovereign, self-determined place. He understood stewardship of the land and of his relationships. Because if you steward the land will continue to give. If you steward your relationship, you have peace. And you can move with peace and you can move with integrity. Sustainability. Because if you operate this system properly, we're going to be sustainable. We don't need nobody. We don't need your dollars. We don't need any. We can feed ourselves, and our dollars will come from that train right there because we position ourselves right here in a perfect location. So I think between community, industry, and stewardship and agriculture, he figured it out. Those are the basic things that any community needs. We got to get along to figure out. If we can't get along, the community's going to be messed up regardless. If we can't feed ourselves, the community's going to be messed up regardless. It's not sustainable. You know, like, so he understood all of these things. And I think we're just now catching up to it. And, you know, when you read about Colonel Allensworth, you see a lot about self-determination. You see a lot about sustainability, self-reliance. And I've coined the 5 S's and a T, and I just named them through what I just said. It's sustainability, it's stewardship of the land and of the people, it's solidarity, it's sovereignty, and it's self-determination. And then the T is truth-telling. You know, because California
has started off.
So many hidden truths, man.
Listen, man. I'm with you.
So many.
Secure the soil, okay? It's so real. The beauty, as beautiful as California is, it's got a very, 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 very ugly side. Some people came here to try to get away from that stuff and then got thrown into it worse. You know, they think I'm coming to California to get away from Jim Crow and get away from, and then you look up and you would know.
The crazy part is the South story is documented. California story is not documented.
We was over here, Cali was over there by itself doing their own thing. To a degree.
And then when the South stuff couldn't be done anymore over here, they just brought it over here where it can be done in silence.
Let's talk about it. You feel me? Most people don't understand people think San Francisco and they think LA when they hear California. And I'm like, no. Those are 2 cities
that are far apart.
That are in this big state that could be its own country.
And San Francisco is really in Central California.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
Because there's a whole forehead.
Another part on that I've never been to. That's a whole thousands of miles. And then there's this whole thing, that Central Valley, that most people have no idea is happening unless you are involved in agriculture. Because California, we produce over 40% of all organic fruit in the country, over 80% of all nuts, grains, berries in the country. You know? Like, and
I'll add to that.
Go ahead.
Just the Central Valley produces 90% of the world's almonds and pistachios.
Come on.
Just this tiny little place.
Come on.
So
come on. And I'll be trying to tell people like, hey, when is the last time if you want to understand what I'm talking about, drive from here to Sacramento and pay attention to all of those hours where all you can see from this way and this way is nothing but farmland and vast land. When you on this freeway and you can't see nothing but the mountains way over there east of you.
If you can see the mountains.
Because
it's so foggy. We got the worst air quality in the country. So on a rain, like a day like today, you can see the mountains beautiful on both sides.
Cali after rain is, especially like after it rains, it's like, man, this is beautiful.
This is a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place.
This air is crisp.
That smog is crazy. But most people I understand, especially us who come from these hoods. Most of us don't have a relationship with our state. And I want to be pivotal in saying we need to do a relationship with our state and hold our state accountable, and then also us who in the state create our own coalitions and work together. Because we all are on this thing together. We are in our cities, we are in our communities, but we are a part of the greater community. You know, so did you finish in that question?
I'm trying to even remember what the question was.
You know what existed, or no, what don't people get today? But I think it's
I feel like I got that one.
So the next question is, so when you walk through Allensworth today,